A great mom. Zegen and Wonder were lovely twins who loved to play all day and eat a lot of candy. Their father was away from home almost all the time because he worked a lot, but their mother always accompanied them. They went to the park together and did many interesting things. They were very happy and close twins. They could not live without each other, and both agreed that their lives would be very boring without their beloved mother. It was a rainy morning. The twins were awakened very early by the noise of loud thunders. They got out of their beds to brush their teeth and walked to the kitchen. They found a happy woman preparing breakfast. "Good morning, Mommy!" The twins ran to greet their mother. They surprised her. She outlined a huge smile and said, "Good morning, my babies." She got on her knees to be at their height and gave them a big hug. "Why did you wake up so early?" she asked curiously, because they used to sleep a lot. "A thunderclap woke us up," said Wonder. "Yes, it made a lot of noise and we couldn't continue sleeping," added Zegen. Their mom pulled them towards her to give them another hug. "Nothing bad will happen to you because I will always be here to protect you." After having breakfast, the twins went to the living room to play. They couldn't go to the park because the rain was falling with great force and the thunder was getting louder, so they decided to stay home with their mother until the sky returned to its usual blue color. Zegen realized that she had forgotten her favorite toy, so she went back to her room to look for it. On the way, she realized that her mother was still in the kitchen. She was very curious to know what she was doing. "Mommy, what are you doing?" she asked, trying to see what her mom was holding in her hands. "I'm cooking something very special for you two. It's a surprise," said their mom with a sweet smile on her face. Zegen was moved by those words. She decided that she would not interrupt her mother so she could finish the surprise. The girl walked to her room and finally had her favorite toy in her arms. She looked at it for a few seconds, and a cute thought invaded her head. She ran into the living room to tell her brother what her mother was doing. She sat next to him. "Mom is preparing a surprise for us in the kitchen. It's not ready yet, but it will be something big," she told her brother. Wonder was excited. "Cool! I'm sure it's a cake." Zegen looked again at the toy she had in her hands. "She loves us very much, takes care of us, and makes us very happy." "We are very lucky to have her," Wonder replied without taking his eyes off the little castle he was building. The girl took a doll that was close to her and began to play while talking with her brother. "I agree with you, brother." She paused for a few seconds to think. "We should give her a gift to show her how much we love her." Wonder smiled. "Great idea, sister." The children piled all their toys near the couch, took all the building blocks, and with them began to write a beautiful phrase on the floor. "Do you remember the time we made a huge snowman?" asked Zegen. "Of course, I almost froze because of you," said her brother. The mischievous girl couldn't contain her laughter and burst out laughing. "It was really fun to see your face." After a few seconds, Wonder said, "Mom took care of me and made us a delicious hot chocolate." "I adore the hot chocolate that she prepares. It's so delicious," said Zegen. "Do you remember when you swam into Mommy's arms because a fish was chasing you?" Wonder asked with a smile. His sister frowned. "It wasn't a fish, it was a shark." This time it was her brother who burst out laughing. That was a very funny moment. "It was a clownfish," he said, laughing. "But it looked like a shark," replied Zegen, still frowning. When the children finished writing the first word, they realized that they had no space on the floor. They decided to stand aside to continue writing. "Sometimes I think Mom has magical powers," said Wonder. Zegen got a bit confused. "Why do you think that, brother?" she asked. "She knows everything," Wonder whispered to her. "Yes, she's a super mom," Zegen said. The children had a lot of fun. They remembered many experiences while they wrote on the floor with the building blocks. Their mother was still in the kitchen, so she had no idea what her kids were doing. Wonder stood up to get a glass of water from the kitchen. He walked casually until he met his mother. "Hello, honey. Do you need something?" she asked sweetly while she kept decorating a big cake. The boy's eyes doubled in size. He had never seen such a big cake. He approached her without answering the question she had asked him. "Wow, Mom, that's amazing." His mother gave a little laugh. "Do you like it?" "Like it? I love it," he cried, raising his arms in the air. He smiled widely and walked towards his mother to give her a big hug. "Thank you, Mommy." His mom was very happy that her son liked the surprise. "I love you, my little man." When Zegen and Wonder were together again, they hurried to finish writing their surprise message on the floor. It had stopped raining, and the night was taking over the city. They knew their father would arrive at any moment, so they did not want to lose more time, and they only dedicated themselves to writing. After a few minutes, the children's concentration was interrupted by the sound of keys. Both twins looked at each other. "Dad," they whispered. They stood up and ran towards the front door to welcome their father. When the three of them were together, the kids told him, "Don't make any noise. We want to surprise Mom." Their father was very curious now. "What are you up to?" he asked them. His children smiled and asked him to follow them. When they were in the living room, their dad was surprised to see what was written on the floor. He loved what the twins had done for their mother. "I have a few things that will help you surprise her even more," he said, and left the house to get what he had hidden in the car. He returned right away with a big box of chocolates and a bouquet of flowers. The twins were very happy because they would give their mother a huge surprise. They prepared everything on the floor and sat down to wait for their mom to finish decorating the cake. While they waited for her, the twins told him what they had done that day. Wonder told him that while they were doing the surprise for their mother, they had remembered many moments that they lived with her. Zegen thought for a few seconds. She had a brilliant idea, and she had to hurry, so she ran to her parents' room and looked for the family albums. The girl was sure that everyone would have a lot of fun seeing all the photos. When she returned to the living room, her father and Wonder waved her over. Her mother was coming out of the kitchen, so she ran over to them and placed the albums on the floor next to her. "Surprise!" they said while raising their arms. The twins' mother was very surprised, and the cake almost fell to the ground. Happiness seized her, and her eyes were moistened. She placed the cake on the table and said, "I wanted to surprise you, but you were the ones who surprised me." She noticed what was on the floor and read it aloud. "Thanks for everything, Mom. You are a super mom." She smiled widely and walked towards her family to give them a big hug. "I love you, my babies." The children smiled at her. "We love you, Mommy," they said. "I love you too, darling," said her husband. They finally had a family moment. They had a lot of fun while tasting the sweets and reliving many memories over family photos.